Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to show you how to recreate this look right here, mainly focusing in on the eyes using the new Soft Glam palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I told you all during my review video that I was planning on putting quite a few looks together with this. I already have one up on my channel. This is number 2, and I do plan on perhaps doing a couple more. No, one for sure, maybe a couple more. I wanted to do something soft, so that's definitely coming up next. But before that, I wanted to do something really deep, smoky, and glam, and just sultry on the eyes. And this is the look that I came up with. I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. And yeah, if you're interested in seeing exactly how to recreate it, then just keep on watching. Okay, so let's get started. First thing that I'm going to use is some concealer onto the lids, per usual. And pay no attention to my red eyes. I already washed this look off once because I already tried it. This is my second time trying it. I didn't like the way that it turned out the first time, so fingers crossed that this time it turns out better. Okay, and then I'm also going to be setting the eye area with a little bit of powder. This is just going to make everything easier to blend. Okay, so jumping into my Anastasia palette, the first color that I'm going to pick up is Burnt Orange. And I'm taking it with my tapered blending. This is the E40 from Sigma. And I'm going to be running that back and forth along the crease. This is going to serve as my transition shade. And I'm blending it back and forth using circular and windshield wiping motions, so combining those two together. And I'm keeping it pretty round, so I'm just kind of tracing along my crease. So now with the smaller blending brush, this one is my E25 from Sigma, I'm picking up Sienna, and I'm going to be placing it right along the crease, but I'm keeping this one a little bit lower than my transition shade from the previous step. It's really hard for me to get my crease looking exactly the same on both sides because since I do suffer from occasional cluster headaches, this lid, sometimes I have a lot more room in this lid or on this lid than I do on this one. Like that seems to be the case today. I don't feel a cluster headache coming on, but I never know. All right, and then we can go back with our previous blending brush without adding any additional color in order to further blend these two eyeshadows together. Okay, next I'm gonna go a little bit deeper using Mulberry, grabbing that with the exact same brush and applying it along the crease as well. With this one, I am definitely patting all the product onto the lid. And then once there isn't much product left on the brush, that's when I will blend. Because if I go in blending right away with my brush, the product itself is pretty soft, and so what that's going to do is just going to push everything around, and it's just going to throw the powder or the eyeshadow onto places that you don't want it to get onto. So it's always better to just pat the product on to where you need it, and then once everything is patted on, you can go in and blend it. And these eyeshadows are so easy to blend together. I love that about this palette. I don't have a hard time blending these at all. Okay, then taking that brush that we started off with once again without adding anything additional and just blending out along the edges. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this vintage smoky eye pencil. If you all saw my BoxyCharm unboxing video, then you recognize this guy. I'm going to use this as a base for the lid because I am going to be applying the black eyeshadow onto the lid. This is going to be a very smoky look. So I want something for that eyeshadow to grab onto and for it to just look a lot more intense. So I'm going to place this pencil on the lid. And then I'm going to blend it out using my finger because it is a really soft formula, but I found that it blended a lot better with my finger than it did with an actual brush. And I'm stopping right along the crease, like right before I get to the crease. Okay, so now that I have that on the lids, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go in with Noir, which is a really, really deep black. And I'm gonna pat it onto the lid. I'm just patting it onto the spots where I placed the black pencil. And then I'm gonna go back with my Sigma E25, so the smaller of the two blending brushes, and I'm going to blend in between the crease. You're pretty much just gonna blend and blend and blend and blend and blend and blend. And when you think you're done blending, you're gonna blend some more. What you're trying to do is you're just trying to get rid of that edge and make it look like it's all together. Now once you tilt your head back, if you can't see the line anymore or you can hardly see it, then you've blended enough at that point. But if you can still see the line that divides the black from the crease, then you need to blend a little more. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we can simply leave it like this if that's what you wish, to just have a nice dark smoky eye. Perfectly fine, of course. Otherwise, you can add a little bit of shimmer on top. So I'm going to add Sultry on to the top. It's a really, really soft metallic shade here on the palette, or in the palette. Oh yeah. And just applying it on top of the black. The way that looks. Okay, so now I'm just going to go back with my blending brush and just blend everything together. I don't want the shimmer to completely get rid of the smoky eye underneath, but I do like the way that the shimmer softens it up enough to where it's still a smoky eye, but it's not super intense and matte like this side. It's just nice and soft and smoky. You can also just pop it like right in the center and make it like a nice halo. This palette, like I said before, it's like so easy to play with, so versatile. I'm gonna blend it in. And now it creates like a really nice custom smoky eye. I don't know, I really like it. Okay, so now before we move on, I'm going to simply tightline here to make it even darker. Now I'm going to add some false lashes. Today, the ones that I'm going to use are from Pure Cosmetics. They are in the style Bombshell. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is, of course, apply some mascara. Okay, so now we're taking a quick little break from the eyes and focusing on the face for the time being. I'm going to start off with color corrector. This one is my Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector, the one that I always use underneath my concealers. Just applying some of that before moving on to foundation. For foundation today, I'm going with my Dior Forever foundation. I haven't used it in a little while, and I kind of miss it. I know some people don't like it, but I actually love the scent of this foundation. All right, next comes concealer, and of course, I'm gonna be using my Tarte Shape Tape. Just gonna be applying this on to the under eye area. Okay, and then just blending out the concealer. Okay, and then of course setting everything in place underneath the eyes with some RCMA No Color Loose powder. Just taking some of that with my damp beauty blender. Okay, so now that we're done with the base of the face, I'm going to go back to the eyes, taking that same pencil that I used on my lid. I'm going to run that through my bottom lash line, and I'm also going to run that on the waterline. So I'm going to take it in between my lashes, and I'm also going to take it along the waterline. And then I'm going to take my flat definer brush. This one is the E15 from Sigma. I'm going to jump back into the palette. I'm going to grab Mulberry with that. And I'm going to take it along the bottom lash line by just patting it on. And then I'm going to take my pencil brush. This one is the E30 from Sigma. I'm going to grab a little bit of Sienna and burnt orange and just mix those two. Tap off the excess and blend the lower lash line. Just going to make it really nice and smoky along the bottom. And then of course applying some mascara onto the bottom lashes. Next, I'm going to finish off the rest of the face, just taking some of my Hoola bronzer with my Luxie 512, running that along the cheek, the hollows of my cheeks, and just swirling the brush upward. All right, next I'm going to take my Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder. This one is in the shade Crown of My Canopy. And I'm going to take this with my tapered highlighting brush from Sigma and apply that onto the high points of my cheeks, the bridge of my nose, cupid's bow, and my chin. All right, and I think I do want to, I wasn't sure, I was kind of on the fence about this, but I think I am going to pop a little bit of that in the inner corner. And of course, last but not least, the lips. And for that, I'm going to be using my Beauty For Real H2O Matte Liquid Lipstick. This one is in the shade My Pleasure. Just a really toned down, like nudie pink. And then finishing everything off with some Pixie Makeup Fixing Mist. All right, and that completes today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed this makeup tutorial and that you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on future product reviews, makeup tutorials, and beauty-related videos. And also don't forget to follow me on all of my other social media platforms. I am All Beauty by Sarah with an H on Instagram and All Beauty by Sarah without the H on Snapchat and Twitter. As always, take care, and I will see you all in my next video. Mwah. Bye.